Hello everybody, it's lkcubing here, and today I'm going to be talking about how I start cubing. So this may surprise you, but my first cube is not a Rubik's brand. It's this cube. I think it's a YJ Go Sanfree battery. So one of my friends got me this cube, and then when I got it, I of course don't want to scramble it. The unscrambled cube sure looked nice, but I scrambled the cube anyways, and within the next half an hour I figured out how to solve one side, and I was very satisfied of that. And here's what happened for the next few months. So I solved the white side, I scramble it again, I solved the green side, scramble it again, and then I'll do the same thing for all 6 sides, and I thought it's very fun. So I just did it again and again and again, until I can solve one side in 15 seconds. But then I got bored of solving one side, so I started to follow a tutorial and try to solve the whole cube. So that time I was only 10, so I was just figuring this out all by myself, and you can't expect me to actually learn anything. So I followed a bad tutorial because I don't know how to find good ones, and then I ended up actually learning how to do F2L. I got stuck at the last layer. I spent hours and hours and hours to figure it out, but I still really can't do that, so I just gave up, and for the next few months I never touched my Rubik's Cube. And then one day when I went to school, one of my friends actually solved one of his Rubik's Cubes, and then he just showed it to me, and I was so impressed, and then I wanted to learn how to solve this cube too, so I could impress others. So I followed another tutorial. It's Noah Richardson's one, and I finally, after another few hours of hard work, learned how to solve the entire Rubik's Cube. And I was very happy with myself. I wrote down all the algorithms, and then I spent weeks and weeks to memorize them. Then at last I can solve the Rubik's Cube without looking at the algorithms. I also got myself a cfop 3 because it's the best cube at that time, and I started speed solving. So I got to 1 minute and 5 seconds, I think, and then I kind of dropped the whole Rubik's Cube thing again because, well, it's boring just doing solves every day. I never knew the cfop method exists back then. I only know there was the beginner's method. I don't know there was a more advanced method, so that's why I got demotivated. I don't know how I could get faster. So last year I picked up cubing again. I found the walkthrough in one of my old boxes. I relearned all the algorithms, I relearned how to solve it, and I was pretty satisfied of that. So after that, it was my birthday, so I got some new cubes. I got the 354M, and I got the GAN 249, and all that. And this cube actually performs much better than my old bulk, so it dropped my times down a lot, so I'm sub 1 minute after I got this cube. That motivated me to learn cfop and become faster at cubing. So I learned cfop in a few weeks. It's very fast. It's 2-loop OL, 2-loop PL. I learned them in 1 day, both of those, 2-loop OL and 2-loop PL, because I'm very obsessed with cubing back then. Now it's half a year later, and I've learned how to be color neutral, full OL, full PL. I'm not as obsessed in cubing as I was when I first started, but I'm still very happy that I became so fast at last, and yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with my progress, and I will continue cubing until I'm sub 10 or something like that. Yes, and thanks for watching. That's the end of my part.
In 2015, I went to this arcade in Australia called Time Zone. If you live in Australia, you might know it. And in arcades, you win tickets, like in Chuck E. Cheese in America, you win tickets to exchange for prizes. So one of the prizes I got was a Rubik's Cube, or I should say like a dollar store cube that does not turn very good. And this was the first time I saw a Rubik's Cube or even heard about it. So on the way back from home on the car, my aunt messed it up for me, and in an attempt to solve it, I failed miserably. So most people starting out with a Rubik's Cube, they get one, they can build one side. That's like the easiest thing to do on the Rubik's Cube, right? Well, not me. I did not even build one side. I was so bad at it, I couldn't even get one side at all. So when I got home, I didn't really care about the cube anymore, as it was scrambled and I couldn't do anything to it to make it solved again. So I kind of, didn't do anything about it and threw it under my bed. Until 2016 came around, I was cleaning my room and I found the Rubik's Cube somewhere. So I actually decided to learn it. So I watched the Noah Richardson's video. I highly recommend you watch it. It's pretty high quality. So yeah, that was back in like 2016 when like JPerm and all these cubers right now are not relevant or even existence, to be honest. Now, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I must have been a dumb kid or something because he took me 2 weeks to just learn the cube. Normal people take 1 to 2 hours to follow the recipe or the method, in this case, to learn a cube. I took 2 weeks because I think I kept screwing up on F2L, or the second layer, I should say, for LBL, and I kept screwing up the yellow cross. And when I finally got to a U-perm, like the 3-edge cycle, I got so excited because I knew I was nearly done with solving the cube. And in fact, the first moment when I first actually solved the cube, I was actually in IKEA. So I was at the canteen or the food court in IKEA. I don't know what the hell I was doing there, but yeah. Now here's a little stupid story. When I first got the cube solved, I thought Rubik's brands were the best cubes. Yes, like any typical non-cube. And I always had thought that the top speed cube uses Rubik's brands because obviously Rubik's brands are the ones that created Rubik's Cube. So they've got to be the best, right? Well, my parents did give me a Rubik's brand after like badgering them for a couple like weeks. And when I got it, I think I actually liked it a lot more because my dollar store cube was like terrible. It's like those cheap plastic ones that like lock up every time. And this is when the Rubik's 2.0, the tiled versions came out. So I mean, it's a step up from the dollar store cube, but it's not really good until you tried like a Moyo Oolong. Now, after getting that cube, I brought it to school literally every day until it broke. So I kind of dropped it, and the corner piece, the corner stock of the cube broke off. So yeah, Rubik's brands say they don't pop, but they really do. And at this point in my cubing journey, I started watching a lot of YouTube cubers. Biggest ones, for example, are Crazy Bad Cuber and JR Cuber. And from Crazy Bad Cuber, I finally found a cube that I want to get as a budget cube, which is the YJIC One Long. When he said it was like $4 off like the cubicle or something, I was sold and I got it. So after getting it, the cube was pretty good for a couple reasons. It was way better corner cutting than my Rubik's brand. It turned way faster and way smoother. In fact, I still have that cube, but I think it turns really bad because there's a lot of dust in it and I couldn't be bothered like cleaning and lubing it again. Now after a while, quit cubing a little for a year or two, until 2018, which is like 2 years ago. And at this point, I was averaging like sub 30 or sub 20, and that is the point I really want to get faster. So I got a Volk power from China, and I really started to learn to get faster. And in 2019, my speed took off. I started averaging like sub 12 and sub 11 like every solve. Now, how my channel got started is really interesting. So one day I was just sitting down doing solves, and my dad was like, hey, you should actually start a YouTube channel. You're doing good at this, so you should actually teach people how to solve cubes. Now, usually kids will badger their parents to start a YouTube channel, but not my one. They told me to make one. So I did, and in fact, I already had this YouTube account since last year, 2019 October, but I only started posting in January because he told me to make videos about it. And here I am today, so I have 673 subscribers at this moment of June 2020, and I'm working towards 1,000 subscribers. And last to say, huge thank you to Daily Puzzles for sponsoring my channel and supporting me. So, that's the story on how I started cubing.